thought I'd do a little video about one of my favorite carry guns. The frame is from an old West German P220, no rail. Got some Hogue Sig Sauer grips on there. But, let me see. Yeah, this one's just got the sights that came with the slide. This is the slide from my P220 Legion SAO, single action only. My other P220 slides, I've put the X-Ray 3 sights on it, but I used the U-notch in the rear, which I like a little better. But this is what came on this slide, and there's no real reason to replace it. The thing I like about this setup, you got the nice slick frame with no rail, which I'm not, maybe for home defense I might put a light on my gun, but when I'm carrying concealed, I don't, I'm not running around with a flashlight on my gun. And yet at the same time I've got the more modern slide with a solid one-piece slide, external extractor, which I really like a lot. I don't know if that will focus there. For me, I just think from a durability, reliability point of view, having that one-piece slide and the external extractor, I like it. The original slide, of course, was from the old days when they had the stamped, slide that was folded over a metal mold, and then they had the breech face was a separate piece that was staked in there, and an internal extractor, which they worked fine. The other slide I have is a one-piece slide, but it still has the internal extractor, which is from my P220 ST with a stainless steel frame. I've actually used this slide before on that stainless frame, which I really like. I've got the Legion grips and the smaller Legion controls on that frame, and it feels really good. But for concealed carry, this thing is so nice and light, and not having a rail on here means that you can just slip it into your waistband without a holster, and you don't have to worry about snagging on anything while you're trying to push it in there and all of that. Let me see. This particular magazine here that I've got, the ammo, it looks like, is some Underwood ammo that I got with 185 grain Nosler projectile, about 1,200 feet per second velocity, so it's a plus P load. And I certainly, if you want to shoot a plus P load out of these, having that solid slide, I think, is where the way you want to go for reliability and durability. The recoil spring I've got in here is the original, multi-strand, multi-braided 20-pound spring that came with this particular frame when I bought it. It can be a little hard to rack the slide sometimes if you are not used to it. If I was using lighter ammo, I would use probably a 17, 18-pound spring in there, just for the sake of making it easier to rack the slide and manipulate it for a malfunction and so forth. But I'm used to it, and it shoots well. Helps protect the frame probably a little bit with that aluminum frame. So that's basically, what Sig Sauer went to, was the 20-pounders. Let me see if I can lower the slide without slamming it with that heavy recoil spring in here. Hold on. I think I actually may have a Legion decocking lever on this one, but it's the standard slide stop lever. I really like this particular concept. Sig Sauer just now announced that they're bringing out a P226, kind of a classic version for the 40th anniversary or whatever of the P226, and it's going to be a similar setup. It has the classic frame with no rail on it, but it has the more modern slide with the external extractor. I know James on TFB TV, he was kind of wishing for a more retro one. all the way around, but for me, I like it like this. For a long time, P226, one of the older P226s, was just like my go-to that I had with me all the time. And I just got used to the operating system on these. I would go into a gun store and look at other guns and pull back the slide to check it was empty, and then my thumb would just automatically go for the decocking lever, even if there wasn't one on there, you know? So one thing I did too with this gun, when I first got it, and also with my stainless one, and my my one P229 Equinox I have, the triggers, when you would fire the gun and to reset, you would come out so far before that trigger would catch. You know, you could actually hear it clicking internally like it was ready to catch, but the trigger still had to come out a bit. And especially on that P229, it was so distracting. On all of my SIGs, I've put in short reset trigger kits so that, you know, don't find yourself in a gunfight thinking that you've let the trigger go forward far enough to fire around and you're yanking on the trigger with nothing happening, you know. Not good. But that's one big improvement that I put on all my SIGs. But there you go. That new P226 Classic they're coming out with got me thinking about same concept as this, you know, just a 15 round 9mm or 18 round maybe.